Nathuram Godse, a name everybody has heard of, but who is he really? And what was the reason that he killed a leader like Gandhi? What were his religious and political views? Did Godse ever regret his actions? All these questions must have arisen in your mind too, so let me tell you the answers to all these questions that I collected from this book. In this book, you will also read the last statement given by Godse before his death sentence, which he gave on May 5, 1949, in the Punjab High Court. Godse shot Gandhi on January 30, 1948, and his court trial started in February of the very next year. Godse and his camp had placed an appeal for pardon before the Punjab High Court, but the appeal was rejected. The court sentenced him to death by hanging, and some of his last words have been written on the pages of this book. One of Gandhi's most famous sayings is that the future depends on the things we do in the present. This is a very short book that requires only a little time to read, but if you still don't have enough time, let me tell you what it talks about. The author of the book, Nathuram Godse, was accused of murdering Mahatma Gandhi and had had 2 unsuccessful attempts to assassinate Mahatma Gandhi in 1944 before he succeeded the 3rd time. After the 1948 assassination, Godse claimed Gandhi favored the political demands of British India's Muslims during the partition of India in 1947. Godse had plotted the assassination with Narayan Apte and 6 others. After a trial that lasted over a year, Godse was sentenced to death on November 8, 1949. The book starts with the author talking about his early life. He says how he was born in a religious Brahmin family. From childhood, he learned about the history and culture of Hinduism and Sanatan Dharma and considered himself a free thinker, though he had deep faith in Hinduism. When he grew up, he joined the RSS and was associated with the anti-caste movement. He wanted to end untouchability and believed that Hindus should not be divided on the basis of their birth. He also believed that all Hindus were equal and that because of that, there shouldn't be any discrimination among them. He talks about the way he used to attend anti-caste dinners and meetings in which all the people from every caste used to participate in those meetings. So there were people from Bangi, Chamar, Vaishya, Kshatriya, and Brahmin castes. He dedicated his life to Hindu organization ideology and had only one goal, which was to preserve the freedom of his motherland, because he believed that this was the only way to save humanity. He then talks about how Gandhi's dominance in the Congress Party had increased a lot in 1920 when Lokmanya Tilak died. At that time, Gandhi had influence in the Congress Party and the whole country. His public activities had established him as a great leader. People used to respect him a lot. His words about truth and non-violence had a deep impact on the general public. His followers were increasing day by day. Everyone agreed with the truth and non-violence that Gandhiji spoke about. It is believed that a common man wouldn't give any importance to these things in his everyday life. Rather, the truth is that if it is about himself or his family, then a person will not hesitate to give trouble to anyone else. So what's wrong with that too? Everyone thinks of themselves first and then of others. If someone does wrong to us, then they will have to answer. In Ramayana, Rama killed Ravana to save Sita. Krishna killed Kansa in the Mahabharata. Arjun killed his relatives and friends because they stood with his enemy. If Ram, Krishna, and Arjuna were wrong according to Gandhi, then it means that he is doubting the ability of human beings. Now look at the history itself. Afzal Khan wanted to establish Muslim rule in India, but Chhatrapati Shivaji never allowed his dream to be fulfilled. If Shivaji had not fought him with full force, he might have been killed by Afzal himself. But Gandhi criticizes Shivaji, Guru Gobind Singh, and Maharana Pratap. He believes that these great fighters should not have adopted the path of violence. But the author considers Gandhi violent, and in the name of truth and non-violence, they have put their country in trouble. He thinks that every Indian should worship great heroes like Shivaji, Pratap, and Guru Gobind because they actually got freedom because of these people. Gandhiji's movement for the last 32 years, especially his pro-Muslim fasting, made him believe that he should leave politics immediately. It's not that he did not do anything for the country and their Indian friends in Africa. Gandhiji had a big impact on improving the condition of the people of the Hindu community there, but a lot had changed in India since his return to the country. Gandhi probably understood that he was the only one who was able to decide what was right and what was wrong, and that if people refused to accept him as a leader, that he would have to leave the Congress and go his own way. He then gave two choices to Congress: to either go according to him and bear his craziness, stubbornness, and cynicism, or run the Congress party without him. Gandhi thought that he alone could decide about everyone and everything, and is the brain behind the civil disobedience movement. He had a big misconception that no one could do work like him, and everyone else followed his orders. His attitude was that whether their movement is a failure or a success, the country will have to pay a heavy price for it. And when asked about the difference it could make, they only said that Satyagraha can never fail. People considered him a saint, and that's why they would accept every word coming from his mouth. Due to his high thoughts and simplicity, people don't know why they get attracted to him. Gandhi kept making one mistake after another, and for him, decisions put the future of the country at risk, not once, but many times. There is no doubt that he's a pro-Muslim leader, and he made this clear when he recommended making Hindustani the national language. Whereas in reality, only the Hindi language has the right to be the national language. In the beginning, Gandhi also supported Hindi, but when he felt that Muslims might feel bad about this, he started calling himself the champion of the Indian language. And every Indian knows that in reality there is no such language. Neither there is any vocabulary of Hindustani, nor there is any grammar. It is only spoken, not written. This is a ridiculous dialect in which Hindi and Urdu are mixed. To show himself as a relative to Muslims, Gandhi promoted Hindustani, and his fans did too. Since the beginning of August 1946, Muslim League and his private armies killed many Hindus. The viceroy of that time, Lord Wavell, was forced. He was not able to use his power and the Government of India Act 1935 to stop the incidents of rape, murder, and robbery. From Bengal to Karachi, the blood of Hindus was being shed. They were being brutally murdered, and women were being raped. The Muslim League had torn apart the interim government of that time, but the way Muslims had betrayed and hypocrisy with Hindus, to that extent Gandhi supported them. Lord Wavell had to resign because the situation was out of his control, and Lord Mountbatten came in his place. It means that when Nagnath went, Sampath came. There was a noose around the neck of the Indian Congress. The Congress silently bowed down before Jinnah and approved Pakistan, and it was the same congressman who always used to talk about nationalism and socialism. It was called the misfortune that the country was divided into two pieces when on August 15, 1947, one-third of India had gone away forever. The Congress praised Lord Mountbatten and said that there has never been such a great Governor-General and Viceroy as Lord Mountbatten in the history of India. But whatever happened, ultimately the country had to pay for it by dividing it. After 30 years of dictatorship, Gandhi finally allowed Pakistan to be formed, and Congress calls it a peaceful transfer of power and freedom. Even Nehru approved this decision, which he calls freedom achieved by sacrifice. But who sacrificed? Gandhi. The man whom they worship and considered as God divided India into pieces. And it left Nathuram so angry that he couldn't stop the fire of hatred and anger that was boiling inside him. Gandhi fasted unto death because he demanded that Hindu refugees should leave Delhi's mosques. But when Hindus were attacked in Pakistan, Gandhi did not utter a word. Then why didn't he protest the Pakistani government? Why didn't they demand punishment for the culprits? Because they were Muslims? Because Gandhi knows very well that Muslims are not going to make any difference, even if they give up their lives by hunger strike. They will continue to attack Hindus even then. They know that Jinnah or Muslim League has nothing to do with their fasting. Many people call Gandhi the father of the nation, and if it is so, then he could not fulfill his duty as a father. The truth is that they have betrayed Mother India by getting the country divided into pieces. So the author says that Gandhi is not the father of India, he is the father of Pakistan. Gandhi's spiritual power, inner voice, and principles of non-violence were all crushed under the feet of Jinnah. The author says how he knew that many people would hate him after saying all of that, and that he was also aware that his life would be ruined. He said how he knew that as soon as he killed Gandhi. He was also aware that his respect would be destroyed too, but he also knew that Indian politics would be more powerful and practical without Gandhi. He said that in the end, only the armed forces would defend their country, that he knew his future would be ruined, but that he was ready to pay his price because he wanted to save India from Pakistan at any cost. The author says that there was no such law under which Gandhi should be punished for his actions, so he had taken this work into his own hands. He wasn't blaming anyone in the government, but that he didn't trust this whole institution. He also says that there was no doubt about Congress always taking the side of Muslims, which Gandhi's hands were also behind. In the end, he said how he accepted his crime in front of the court, as well as the punishment he got. He also said how he didn't need anyone's kindness, nor did he expect it from anyone. He admitted that he didn't regret any of his actions and that he hoped that people who would write history would appreciate his decision and understand its importance in the future. This brings us to the end of today's video. Let us know your thoughts about this in the comments. Make sure to like and subscribe, and don't forget to hit the bell button so you can get notified whenever there's a new book summary ready for you.